Hello, YouTubes and internet alike. Gnome here, and I have noticed that there are several Easter eggs, of course, in the Doctor Strange movie, most of which have been caught by other movie-centric, what's the word I'm looking for, channels on YouTube, such as What a Culture, Nerds Think, New Rock Stars, Flicks in the City, My Sunday Movie, Comic Book Girl 19, Emergency Awesome, and IGN's actual page. But I feel like they've missed something. I feel like there are at least two Easter eggs that I noticed that nobody's ever spoken of. First off, there's one that seems to be noticed. They keep referencing it as being an Easter egg, but I think they may have the wrong color egg. Yeah, let's go with that as a metaphor. Anyway, it's the helmet, seen in the New York Sanctum in the movie. People reference it as being possibly the Black Knight's helmet, because originally the Black Knight's ebony sword was going to be an image in one of the spell books that we saw on screen, but the art director said, no, let's not do that for some reason. So when they saw the helmet in the Sanctum, they thought, that's the Black Knight's helmet. But it doesn't look like it to me. Now, the Black Knight has had a couple different helmet looks. One of them kind of close to this in the movie, but Doctor Strange is actually more intimately associated with a very similar helmet. In fact, during the run of Midnight Suns, he had a Viking-era looking helmet, which, because of the faceplate, the full faceplate with mustache, is properly an Anglo-Saxon helmet. Now, the Black Knight has had a similar one here, but no faceplate. So I feel, because of the differences in style, the fact that during the run of Midnight Suns there was a Anglo-Saxon helmet made from Doctor Strange's Ethereal Magic, that in the movie this is probably an homage to that, even though that armor was used extremely shortly for a run of 4 or 5 comics, if I remember properly. Okay, on to Easter egg hidden thingy number 2. The Eye of Agamotto. This movie hinges heavily on it, but it is a soul gem in the movie. Interesting. So maybe the Eye of Agamotto is just a fluffy term used for it? No, I don't think so, because the Vishanti themselves are mentioned. So Agamotto is a real entity in the MCU movie universe. Well, why does the eye look so different than what we're used to? Well, the eye has had a couple looks. Sometimes it's even been square. In fact, one of the first incarnations was called the Amulet of Agamotto, and occasionally the eye did go missing from it. Agamotto took it back for some reason every now and then, if Doc pisses him off. But it is still powerful, and it still has many uses while empty. Now, this original square, well, one of the original square looks did have an eye in it too, and it was known as the Lesser Eye of Agamotto, or Agamotto. It's a hard word. So, there were a few different looks, as far as shape, function, and whether or not it was the lesser or the greater, or even empty. So, because of what I'm going to show you next, the Easter egg image that nobody else seems to have come up with, I'm going to assume that this amulet is the amulet, and it is empty, of the Eye of Agamotto, but it has a soul gem put in it to fill the space. and become more useful. And this is how that soul gem is contained. That is the power of the amulet here, is to contain the soul gem. Not that it is actually Agamotto's eye yet. Now, this is a familiar scene that we saw in probably almost every trailer. Take a close look at that floor pattern. It looks a lot like what we've seen traditionally from the Icon, the Classic Age, and most of Doctor Strange comics. That looks like an image of the greater Eye of Agamotto, or its encasement. So I think that's a hint saying, hey, you know what? We're going to have to lose all the soul gems because they're soul gems. But Doctor Strange as a character has to have the Eye of Agamotto in his arsenal to be Doctor Strange, pretty much. So I think he's going to lose this soul gem, end up with an empty case, and in some future movie, after the soul gems are said and gone and done with and resolved, he's going to come in contact with Agamotto himself, the first Sorcerer Supreme, and they will have some sort of deal, conflict, etc., where he will later, in the future of the MCU, receive the real eye. If it is going to go into the same amulet, if the amulet will change shape and look more familiar, we shall see. Anyhow, those are the two things I noticed. Now, here's something I didn't notice that I was really looking for, that I was hoping to notice. We get a couple really amazing cityscape scenes, and the only recognizable building people have picked out is the Avengers building. It's a shame. I know it wouldn't make any sense in this timeline for Vincent Strange, not Stephen, to have his tempo building. But I was looking for this. I was looking for the tempo building in all these shots, and sadly, that little fun Easter egg that could have been was not. Now, if you do see it somewhere, please vindicate my hopes. And, yeah, I guess that's it. So, those were the, two or maybe one and a half, didn't mean to do that, two, maybe 1.5 spoilers that I saw there that nobody else seemed to pick up on. Now, the location of this helmet that I saw close up was not the same location as in the images they keep showing us. This image, which is from concept art, not actually from the movie. Now, when I saw it, it was in the Sanctum Sanctorum, 3rd floor, well, in this movie, more like 5th floor. Right as Doc goes up there, before the place is attacked, the camera pans, and it is right there at the beginning of the shot before it pans away from its glass case. So if somebody could get me or examine video of that right there, Doctor Strange goes for the first time to the New York Sanctum Sanctorum. It is the first shot of him entering the room with the anomaly Rue window. I prefer that name than Window of the Worlds. It's an anomaly Rue. Anyway, when he enters that top room and that camera pans, if anybody could get a shot at that first case with the helmet on the bottom of the case, we'll get a real good look at it and see if my assumption that it matches up with the Anglo-Saxon armor from Midnight Suns. We'll get a good look at that. I don't think it's the Black Knights. I think it's Doc's. Alright, that's what I found.